That's a method of voting that doesn't advantage one group or another. There's danger involved in drop boxes. People need to think about it. Okay, imagine someone decides, oh, there's a drop box. I'm just going to put some explosive in it and blow it up and burn all of those ballots, and now those votes don't count at all.
Wait, what? Okay, so that was Senator Marco Rubio saying that people are going to put explosives in drop boxes? I mean, look, for Marco Rubio, who I generally don't think is a stupid person, that was stupid. So they went from saying, and they're still saying this, of course, that there's the problem with drop boxes is that you got the mules. There are 2,000 of them. In fact, there are 2,000 mules, and they're stuffing the boxes, the drop boxes, and we've got phone data, and you know, and there's that's what's going on. Well, they went from that to now stuffing bombs in drop boxes and destroying ballots. What's next? Are they gonna start claiming that people are hiding in drop boxes, claiming to inject you with, or waiting to inject you with hormones? To trans you? I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Well, maybe I shouldn't be giving them ideas, okay? But this is stupid. I don't know if there's a better word for it. It's just really dumb. Now, the only thing I can think to explain why Marco Rubio is sitting here fear-mongering about drop boxes, which in the past had not exactly been controversial, is that I think he wants to ensure that the people most likely to use the drop boxes now. Again, this used to be not controversial. It used to be used both in equal amounts by both sides. Well, now Republicans are told not to use drop boxes. And so now who uses them more? Democrats. So they want to stop people from using drop boxes. Now, I think that's, I mean, there's a word for that. I think it's voter suppression. And look, it doesn't have to, you know, be a plot to deregister certain groups of people before elections, like black people, or pass poll taxes, which they are now not able to do, or pass draconian voter ID laws. You know, it can be as simple as making voting inconvenient, making it take longer, having you jump through more hoops to be registered. By the way, they did this same tactic, or I should say a similar tactic, before the end of Roe to chip away at abortion rights. They would basically regulate it to death, over-regulate it. Yeah, I know, for a party that didn't believe in regulations, they sure loved regulating abortion clinics. Oh, you need admitting privileges to this hospital. You need these hallways to be X amount of feet long, this amount of space apart. You need to do this, and you need to do that. Well, they're doing the same thing with voting, with voting registration, voter ID. Oh, you can't, you know, do that. You got to go and get this special ID. Student ID is not going to work, even though it has your picture on it and your name and everything. You can't use that. You can use a gun, you know, ID in some places, but you can't use a student ID or anything like that. No, no, no. Oh, for the people who don't have licenses anymore because they don't drive, you're just going to have to go through additional hoops to go and get yourself a proper state ID. That's what they're doing. And they've also passed ridiculous laws where you can't hand out water to people standing in lines to vote. You have to register in advance for in so many months. And again, the reason that they do all this stuff is to create hoops, to put as many annoyances in front of people that people are going to get sick of it, and they're just not going to, you know, be a part of the process anymore. This is going to weed out a lot of people, average Americans who, you know, might like to be able to take part in the political process, but can't. They don't have time to go through all these hoops to, you know, sit there and wait in line for hours. They don't have time for all this stuff. It also limits it voting to people who are the most engaged, and the most engaged are partisans, and there's partisans on both sides. Obviously, there's Democratic partisans that turn out. There's Republican partisans, and of course, there's the single issue voters, which are, you know, the abortion voters, right? And the most engaged partisans, I believe, and I could be wrong on this, but I think that they're the right wing. I think it's because a lot of them are convinced that Democrats are demonic beings that are cracking over the heads of babies and drinking brain juice. Crazy stuff. They live in an alternate reality. If you believe that, you're not living in reality. Sorry, not sorry. In fact, I don't apologize at all for saying this.
I apologize for nothing. I concede nothing.
No, you're a moron, and you're a crazy person. If you believe QAnon, if you're a QAnoner, you're nuts. And I've got no time for you. Now, unfortunately, the alternate reality that they live in is one where they believe that their vote, and when it comes to getting people to turn out, that's actually really smart, because they believe that they are, the thin line that is protecting this country between now, them basically, civilization, and complete and utter chaos. So, and look, again, it's effective. And understand, too, that when it comes to policy positions, the country is not overwhelmingly conservative. But when it comes to the culture wars, that really does get a lot of people engaged. They are quite effective, and that's why it's used. Especially when you pair it with mass media. You pair it with, Fox News, Tucker Carlson, millions and millions of your top-rated show in this country. And he's out there saying some really wacky conspiracies. That's why these ideas are everywhere. That's why these crazy ideas like people dropping bombs into drop boxes are making their way up to the debate stage. Which now, unfortunately, I'm kind of concerned. Because now that the idea is out there, maybe one of the more crazy right-wingers hears that and says, maybe that's not a bad idea. No, it is a bad idea. Don't do it. For God's sakes.
Don't you ever do that. Don't you ever do that. I tell you, don't do it.
And don't remove drop boxes based on this ridiculous fear-mongering like this, and like the thoroughly debunked 2,000 mules.